Billionaire CEO sees black twin girls selling a toy car to save MO. Beginning. The neon-lit skyline of Neo Atlanta 2099 pulse with holographic billboards and skyrails weaving between gravity-defying towers. From the tallest spire, the headquarters of Orion Dynamics, billionaire CEO Dorian Vega surveyed the city from his penthouse office. The world hailed him as a genius, architect of AI-driven starships, owner of orbital factories, and first man to send a mining fleet beyond Jupiter. Yet for all his wealth, he felt something hollow gnawing at him. Money influenced fleets. None of it quieted the silence in his life. Dorian had grown up poor, a foster kid who clawed his way to power. The streets taught him to trust no one. He told himself that loneliness was the cost of greatness. That belief would be challenged at night. He stepped outside his glass fortress. On a rainy evening, Dorian, dressed in a tailored graphene trench coat, dismissed the security drones and walked through a forgotten part of the city. He often did this in disguise, trying to remember the hunger that had once driven him. The lower tiers of Neo Atlanta were places the corporations had abandoned, streets where old vendors still sold trinkets under flickering lamps, where children played beside rusting monorails. That's when he saw them. Two black twin girls, no older than 12, standing beneath a cracked awning. Their clothes were patched and damp, but their eyes were sharp, almost defiant. Between them on a crate sat a tiny, hand-built toy car, a model so intricate it caught the light like it was alive. Its wheels were carved from salvaged drone parts, its frame soldered from scrap titanium, and its headlights glowed with a faint blue shimmer. "Sir, would you like to buy our car?" One twin asked boldly. Her sister quickly added, "We built it ourselves. It's not just a toy. It moves, watch." She twisted a tiny dial, and the car whirred to life, its wheels spinning. It darted across the crate, turned sharply, and even made a perfect drift in the rain puddle. Dorian's brows lifted. It wasn't some simple toy. It had adaptive AI microcode, the kind his engineers struggled to perfect. He crouched, fascinated. "How much?" he asked. The bolder twin hesitated. "We're not selling it for profit. We need money to save MO." Dorian frowned. "Who's MO?" The quieter twin clutched the car tightly. "Our brother. He's sick. The doctors at the corporate hospital said only rich people can afford treatment. So, we're trying to raise enough credits. This is all we know how to do." Her voice cracked, but she held her chin high. For the first time in years, something stirred in Dorian Vega's chest. Something dangerously close to empathy. Middle. Dorian bought the car, not for a few credits, but for 10,000, transferring it with a flick of his wristband. The twins gasped, their eyes wide. But when he asked about their brother, they grew cautious. "Why do you care?" the bold one demanded. Dorian didn't answer directly. Instead, he studied the car again. The coding was elegant, efficient, far too advanced for children from the slums. He asked them who taught them, and they exchanged a nervous glance. "No one," said the quieter twin. "We taught ourselves. MO showed us books, old manuals from before the AI bans. He says machines can still help people if you don't let the corporations control them." Dorian's pulse quickened. The girl was speaking about forbidden knowledge. After the AI wars of 2085, nearly all independent machine learning research had been outlawed. Orion Dynamics and men like Dorian had seized control of what remained, monopolizing for profit and defense. And yet here were two children, crafting adaptive code out of scraps. "Where's your brother now?" Dorian asked. They led him to a cramped shelter built beneath the ruins of an old metro station. Inside, a boy lay on a cot, thin and pale, hooked up to a jury-rigged life support system. His name was Moses, but they called him MO. His lungs were failing from exposure to a toxic chemical spill, a disaster Orion Dynamics had quietly caused decades ago while testing mining drones. Dorian froze. His company's negligence was the reason this boy was dying. The twins didn't know, of course. To them, Orion Dynamics was just another faceless empire. But to Dorian, standing there in the dim glow of scavenged power cells, guilt clawed at him like a living thing. "Doctors won't see him," said the bold twin bitterly, "unless we pay first. They don't care if kids die." Dorian's throat tightened. He could pay for the boy's treatment 1,000 times over. But something deeper than charity held him back. He saw in Mo's fragile form the same boy he had once been, unseen, discarded, surviving only because someone, somewhere, chose not to give up. Then, the shelter door burst open. Corporate enforcers stormed inside, drones whirring, rifles glowing. The girl screamed, shielding Mo. A tall man in an armored exosuit stepped forward. Director Core, head of Orion Security Division. Mr. Vega, Core said stiffly. We traced unauthorized AI signals to this location. These children are in violation of the AI ban. We'll take it from here. The twins clung to their car, defiant. Dorian stood motionless. In that moment, he faced a choice. Continue as a ruthless CEO who built an empire on fear, or step in the fire and defend them. He chose. These children, Dorian said coldly, are under my protection. You'll leave. Now. Core's visor glowed. Sir, their experiments are illegal. Even you can't override federal. Dorian cut him off. I own the federal board. Get out. The enforcers hesitated, then retreated under his glare. But Dorian knew this wasn't over. He had just put himself on the wrong side of his own empire. That night, Dorian brought the twins and Mo to his private medbay atop Orion Tower. He ordered his best doctors to treat the boy, sparing no expense. For days, Mo hovered between life and death, while his sisters never left his side. In the quiet hours, Dorian spoke with them. He learned their names, Amara and Naomi, and heard about their life in the ruins. They scavenged parts, built machines, and dreamed of one day creating a fleet of healing robots to restore their broken neighborhoods. You sound like me, Dorian admitted. When I was your age, I built machines from garbage too. Everyone laughed. But look at me now. Amara narrowed her eyes. Yeah, you got rich, but you don't fix things for people like us. Her words cut deeper than she knew. Mo survived the critical phase, but his lungs were scarred. Even with treatment, he would never fully heal. Watching the boy struggle, Dorian realized that paying for survival wasn't enough. He had the power to change everything, not just for this family, but for thousands like them. But to do it, he would have to dismantle the very empire he had built. Ending. The board of Orion Dynamics was furious when they learned Dorian had sheltered AI violators. Core led a faction demanding the children be handed over, citing federal law. If Dorian refused, they threatened to remove him as CEO. For the first time in his life, Dorian Vega smiled at such a threat. At the next shareholder summit, broadcast across the solar system, Dorian strode onto the stage. Not in his usual immaculate suit, but wearing a simple jacket with Amara, Naomi, and Mo beside him. The audience erupted in confusion. He raised the toy car high for all to see. This, Dorian declared, was built by two children with nothing but scraps. It contains adaptive AI, safe, elegant, and free of corporate chains. Proof that brilliance isn't born in labs or towers, but in the human spirit. Gasps rippled through the crowd. For decades, Orion Dynamics and corporations like it have hoarded AI for power and profit. We told you it was dangerous. We banned ordinary people from using it. That was a lie. The truth is, we feared what people could build if they were free. He turned to the twins. These girls are the future. Not us. Them. I will no longer run Orion Dynamics as a weapon of greed. From this day, we open source our AI. We fund community labs. We repair the damage we cause. The board erupted in outrage, but millions watching across the net cheered. The seeds of rebellion spread like wildfire. Director Core stormed the stage, demanding Dorian's arrest. But before he could act, the crowd surged, chanting the twins' names. Security forces, overwhelmed, hesitated. And in that hesitation, history bent. Within weeks, Orion Dynamics fractured. Some divisions broke away. Others followed Dorian's new vision. Across the city, children and families began receiving tools, bots, and medicine. Machines once locked behind paywalls were released freely. The slums flickered back to life with energy and hope. Mo slowly recovered, walking again with mechanical lungs designed by his sisters and funded by Dorian himself. Amara and Naomi became global icons, the twin prodigies who built a toy car that changed everything. As for Dorian Vega, he remained wealthy, but no longer lonely. For the first time, he felt he had family. He often visited the twins' workshop, where they continued to tinker late into the night. One evening, Naomi asked, "Why did you really help us when you could have ignored us like everyone else?" Dorian looked at the glowing city outside and then at their little toy car, still sitting proudly on the shelf. "Because," he said softly, "I saw myself in you, and I knew if I walked away, I'd never be human again." The twin smiled, and for the first time in his long, restless life, the billionaire felt whole.